with some crazy quilt techniques, also called stitch and flip, and create our own fabric out of leftover scraps. I'm using reds because our project today is apple, so it's all going to be red, but it can be anything at all that you want it to be. Start with something, anything at all. Take another piece that looks good with it and put them right sides together. I'm not going to the machine, you don't need to watch me sew, but make a seam here and then press it, pressing away from the previous piece. So here you have now two seams, two pieces that are joined with a seam. You can trim this if you'd like, or simply find another one, and again, right sides together, stitch it here, press to the outside. It will look something like that. Let's take one more. You can trim it, or you can stitch a piece and then trim it afterwards. I will stitch here and then come all the way out. Let's see what else looks like it might work. We can add something here. I like that. Okay. Right sides together at an angle maybe, and trim whenever you need to. That kind of didn't work over here, but I can trim that and then put another piece perhaps here. Right sides together. So trim that if you like, and then there you go. And eventually you wind up with pieces that look like that and that look like that. You've created your own piece of fabric out of lots of leftover stuff. And here is the one I'm going to use today. This is what the back looks like. And there's my created piece. I made it larger than the piece that I'm going to eventually need. Here's my apple. So be sure that your piece is bigger than the apple. But the first thing we need to do is put some fusible web onto the back of this. And fusible web can be heat and bond. It can be steam a seam. In the handout that you get, I'll give you the list of them. So basically, it is a fusible web with fusible on one side, paper on the other, and it will join two pieces together. So what I need to do now is take a piece of fusible and put it on the wrong side of my fabric that I have created. The fusible goes to the wrong side, and the entire piece of paper needs to be a little smaller all the way around than the piece you just created. And the only reason for being smaller is that when you go to the iron, you don't want it to stick to your iron. So let's come to the iron right now. So I have already pre-cut that. And now I am simply pressing. Takes maybe 10 seconds at a medium iron. And there it is on the back of the piece that I have created. Come back to here. And now that I have added fusible, this is what I want to cut out. Here's my apple. I can now put this on the paper and do it wrong side up, because that way it will come out on the right side when you turn it over. So again, the right side of my fabric is here, the right side of my pattern is here. And I pre-drew this, but what you would do now is draw all the way around. Once I have done that, I cut out what I have drawn right through everything. This is going to be my apple made out of crazy quilt pieces. It's bumping a little bit because I have seams that I'm cutting into. So let's come all the way around. And what you cut is what you get. So this has got to be done carefully. There's my apple. There's my apple. My fusible web is on the wrong side, but it's not ready to go yet because the paper has to be removed. So all I do is wiggle an edge, and if it doesn't want to move, just score it a tiny bit. Make a crease in it so you can get a finger in it, and all you're doing is pulling the paper off. There we go. This is throwaway. And now I have the apple. Here's the fabric that I created, and there is the fusible that is now attached to the back. I can then take this back to the iron and place it anywhere I want. In this case, it will be on background, I think 8.5 inch. Your handout will have all that information. So there it is, ready to simply press on, and done. Do the same thing with the leaf. Create a piece of green for the leaf that's bigger than the leaf. The leaf pattern will be on your handout. And once you have put the fusible on the back, then draw and cut out your leaf, and just like this, put it here. And that's all there is to it. Very easy to use up a lot of fabric. It's fun to do, and using fusible web. So that's it. Try it. Play with it. Good.